Words cannot describe the pain and sadness and surprise that I feel with the recent loss of MJW. He was the big brother. He was a beacon. He was one of the most multifaceted, talented men. So gentle. And my heart and soul and hugs and kisses go out to his daughter and his wife and his mother. He gave the best advice. He gave the best hugs. And his smile will always be a huge, bright, and white smile in my head forever. I love you, and I know you're watching over all of us now. Bye, Malcolm.
Hey everyone, stop what you're doing for a moment because something just came out that really makes you pause. Pamela Warner, yes, Malcolm Jamal Warner's mother, spoke publicly about a situation that has had people whispering for years. What she said gave chills to anyone listening. She didn't hint or beat around the bush. She openly addressed what so many had only guessed at. And now, this isn't just a heartbreaking story. It feels like there's something much deeper going on. Just to remind you, Pamela isn't an ordinary parent. She guided Malcolm's entire career when he became a household name as Theo on The Cosby Show. She wasn't just a mom. She was a manager, a protector, someone who knew the inner workings of Hollywood and the pressures of fame. So when Pamela speaks, it carries weight. And she didn't speak in riddles. She made it clear that what happened to Malcolm didn't feel right to her from the very beginning. It wasn't just intuition.
The beach where this shocking incident unfolded over the weekend, and you can see behind me right now, there is a red flag up telling beachgoers to not go in the water. And of course, those flags can change with conditions throughout the day, but there's a sign when we pulled up to the beach here that warns people about the risk of the current, about the risk of going in these waters. And of course, we now know that for Malcolm Jamal Warner, going in these waters over the weekend proved to be deadly. A source close to the actor tells us that he was on vacation with his wife and his young daughter when a day at the beach went terribly wrong.
The timeline, the unanswered questions, and the way everything was quickly labeled and closed like a finished case, it all felt off. Here's what's on record. Malcolm Jamal Warner attended a small, casual industry dinner. Nothing fancy, nothing wild, just a gathering with friends and colleagues he had known for years. Witnesses said he was laughing, sharing stories, and acting completely normal. He seemed happy, relaxed, and engaged. But then, hours later, he was discovered unresponsive in a pool. Not just any pool. This was a sprawling private estate somewhere in Hollywood. The shocking part? There were no friends nearby. Police were quick to call it an accidental drowning, but as soon as you hear the details, you notice problems. Malcolm wasn't someone who swam late at night regularly. He wasn't under the influence of alcohol, drugs, or even prescription medications.
To remind you, as I remind myself, that no matter what's going on, there's always a reason to smile. Peace and love, and I'll be back soon.
He took care of himself, maintained his health, and had no history of reckless behavior. People started asking the same questions over and over. What really happened in those missing hours between dinner and the discovery? Why hasn't the homeowner given a statement? Why are there no security camera clips, no detailed timeline, no clear account of how he ended up at the bottom of that pool? Accidents happen, yes, but this one doesn't match the person we knew. Malcolm was careful, thoughtful, deliberate. You don't just end up alone at a stranger's house unless you trust the location and the people there. Yet there was silence from those who owned the property. And if that raises eyebrows for you, wait until you hear what Pamela had to say. A few days after the news broke, Pamela Warner released a statement. She didn't go with the usual "we ask for privacy" line. Instead, she spoke with quiet determination, a calm fire that comes only from a mother who knows her child and knows something isn't right.
I was kind of going through a period I was having a struggle with hopelessness.
Oh, okay.
And it was just really, the world is just in a dark place.
Yeah.
She said, and I quote, "My son wasn't depressed. He wasn't on anything. And this wasn't just some accident. Let that sink in." She wasn't speculating. She was stating facts as she knew them. This wasn't conjecture. It was a mother telling the world that something felt wrong. Then came the early autopsy results. They found no drugs, no alcohol, and no health issues that could explain sudden death. Just a few bruises, but the placement was unusual. The bruises were on the back of his head and shoulders, not the kind you get from slipping on the poolside or a typical fall. Still, the medical examiner suggested they could have resulted from the fall. But let's think about that for a second. A fall into water, leaving bruises on the back of the head? That's not how most pool accidents occur. Something doesn't add up. Attention shifted further when Malcolm's cousin, James Warner, went live on Instagram.
Think about people in my life who have gone on and transitioned. And I think about the lives that they've led, like they were really good people. So, and when we talk about, why are the good people taken away from us? And I go, maybe they're being rewarded or something.
He didn't hold back. He was angry, frustrated, and openly said there were questions being ignored. According to James, Malcolm didn't go places he didn't trust. He was very particular about his environment, the people around him, and where he stayed. So why end up at a stranger's pool alone? He also brought up an uncomfortable but important point: race. He said that if Malcolm hadn't been Black, the situation would have received far more scrutiny. Sadly, history supports that. When white celebrities die under suspicious circumstances, investigations, media coverage, and memorials are extensive. But when someone like Malcolm is involved, the story is often condensed to accidental drowning, and life moves on. James didn't stop there. He mentioned that Malcolm had recently distanced himself from certain people in the industry, some of whom weren't pleased about it. He didn't provide names, but he hinted strongly that some individuals knew more than they were sharing. And just when the public started speculating, Pamela made it clear she was far from done. Pamela didn't simply grieve in private. She didn't just light candles or release statements. She hired a private investigator, a well-known professional in Hollywood, someone who investigates celebrity deaths when circumstances feel suspicious. This isn't a gossip-level investigation. It's thorough, evidence-driven work designed to uncover facts. Pamela is not acting out of grief alone. She is actively seeking truth. Think about it. Pamela has spent decades protecting Malcolm, shielding him from industry pressures, guiding him through challenges that many young actors couldn't survive. She knows his habits, his instincts, his behavior patterns. If she feels something is wrong and invests money and effort into a professional investigation, it's because she has reason to believe the official story is incomplete. You don't hire a PI if you think your son simply drowned by accident. You do it when your instincts and knowledge of the person tell you something else occurred. As soon as the investigation began, changes became apparent. People close to Malcolm started acting differently. Some stopped returning calls. Others gave vague or hesitant responses, as if unsure how much to reveal. Pamela persisted, stating that she refused to lay her son to rest without understanding the full truth. Days before his death, Malcolm had signed on to a new streaming series. This wasn't just another acting role. It was a project close to his heart. The show was about redemption, second chances, and revealing hidden truths within the entertainment industry. Sources say Malcolm was energized and excited, collaborating with writers, former insiders, and even whistleblowers. His plan was to take real-life events and turn them into a scripted series that exposed secrets without naming names. On top of that, Malcolm had planned a full birthday weekend for his mother. Every detail was arranged: spa treatments, dinners, flights. The schedule was meticulous. This wasn't the behavior of someone ready to give up or who was depressed. This was a man full of purpose, engaged with life, and focused on meaningful projects. The night everything changed had its own strange details. Security cameras at the property reportedly malfunctioned, leaving no footage of the crucial hours. A text sent by Malcolm to a friend just minutes before his death read, "Not sure why I'm here. Something doesn't feel right." No substance abuse, no emotional breakdown, just confusion. It suggested he felt out of place or possibly led somewhere he hadn't expected. Even more alarming was a voicemail he left days earlier. In it, he said, "If anything happens to me, just know I was working on something bigger than us all." Bigger than anyone expected? What was he referring to? His upcoming project? The people he was working with? Something else in the industry? No one has clarified, and authorities have not addressed the significance of this message. The silence from officials and industry insiders has been deafening. The LAPD hasn't provided updates, the property owner hasn't spoken publicly, and many colleagues and peers offered only generic condolences. You would think someone like Malcolm Jamal Warner, a figure who shaped television history, would receive a massive public response. Yet, the reaction has been unusually muted. Some former co-stars offered heartfelt memories. Tempest Bledsoe spoke emotionally about the bond they shared on set. Raven Simone mentioned they had grown apart, but hinted at underlying tension without details. Lisa Bonet referenced the pressure Malcolm faced as a young actor, expected to set an example, suggesting he carried burdens unseen by the public. But outside of those few, the response has been cold and distant. High-profile colleagues and past collaborators offered formal, emotionless statements. This raises questions for fans and observers. Are these celebrities staying silent out of fear, or do they know more than they admit? The entertainment world is small, full of private conversations and subtle warnings. If something suspicious occurred, it's likely some people are aware but unwilling to speak publicly. This is exactly why Pamela Warner refuses to stay silent. She is protecting her son's legacy, demanding answers, and challenging a narrative that feels incomplete. This isn't a conspiracy theory. It's a mother seeking the truth in a system that often prioritizes appearances over reality. So, what should we take away from all of this? Malcolm Jamal Warner was a man full of life, careful, intentional, and focused on meaningful work. He was preparing for a major project, celebrating family, and actively engaging in the industry. The circumstances of his death don't fit the life he lived. The unanswered questions, unusual bruises, and strange details surrounding his final hours suggest something more complicated than a simple accident. Pamela Warner's determination shows that the story isn't over. She's not asking for sympathy. She's demanding transparency, justice, and understanding. If the official explanations were complete, thorough, and convincing, she wouldn't be hiring investigators or asking questions. But she is, which means something in her motherly intuition is driving her forward. And for those watching, this is where you come in. Observe, question, and consider the details. Don't accept a surface-level narrative if it doesn't align with the known facts. Whether you believe in foul play, accidental death, or something else, the important part is recognizing a mother fighting to protect her child's story. So, what do you think? Was this truly an accident, or is there more going on? Pamela Warner seems determined to uncover the truth, and judging by the clues and statements, it's hard to ignore her concern. She knows her son better than anyone, and she refuses to let his story be simplified or buried under vague explanations. If this story affected you even slightly, keep watching and paying attention. Share your thoughts, discuss possibilities, and consider the evidence. Because what Pamela Warner is doing goes beyond grief. It's about uncovering truth, holding people accountable, and ensuring her son's life and work are remembered accurately. This isn't just another celebrity story. It's a real person, a mother's love, and a fight for transparency in a world that often hides its darker realities. And we're only beginning to see how deep this goes. So, what do you think? Was it truly an accident, or is there more to uncover? Comment your thoughts, like, subscribe, and stay tuned. This story isn't over yet.